Hello, hello. This preview I will start a bit differently because I'm going to be referencing these things a lot in the upcoming game, so I decided to start by showing them. First of all, pay attention to how very high in the water this Indianapolis rests. You can see how high it is, how much there is to shoot. It's just a big bulky thing that stands out of the water. Second of all, look at the second turret. You see that little platform it sits on? You notice when I look from this angle, I actually have a perfectly flat angle to shoot at. And same here. So if you try to angle with this, parts of especially that turret aren't angled at all. And third, you see this nice little hole in the middle? The first reaction would be, nice, there's less to shoot at. But then when I angle my ship, can you see there in the back? What a flat, nice surface it creates. And same thing from this angle. Wait, let me move this stuff out of the way so you can see better. You can see again a nice flat angle. If I try to angle the ship, you can maybe see it better from here, this big hole. And if you notice, both the smokestacks are on both sides of that hole, and the boilers are right under the smokestacks, aka the citadels are right underneath that extremely vulnerable area. So what that means is that this little hole here seems to be the goddamn magnet for, well, shells are going to hit and citadel you from the weirdest fucking angles over and over and over again. I mean, let's look at the armor. Citadel armor 16 to 146. Now at first glance this might look like a lot, because I mean that's more than the New Orleans has. Wait, let's show you the New Orleans armor. New Orleans has I think it was 19 to 127. So on first glance you would think that, wow, this Indianapolis is gonna be one tanky, holy shit, like one tanky cruiser. It's gonna have thicker citadel armor than a T8 New Orleans that is known for being a fairly tanky cruiser. But trust me, that is not the case. Let's jump into some actual gameplay then. Now, the Indianapolis has pretty good AA, and the armor on paper looks good, but the actual survivability, as I said, is much lower than it would appear. And you basically eat a lot of citadels. If I had to describe the ship, my first expression would be a light Pensacola, maybe. The guns are great. You got 16.9 kilometer range, and the one thing that I noticed is that the AP has very tight shell grouping and decent velocity. It's not that, they're definitely not railguns, but it has decent shell velocity, and if you aim far enough ahead, it takes me a while. I've been playing this ship a bit, but it still takes me a while to like find the optimal spot. I tend to undershoot a lot because, as you can see, these shells are fairly lazy. You have to take a pretty big lead to be able to actually land them. Like nothing like you can do on Russian or German cruisers. You have to take a significantly bigger lead. But when you get that big lead, suddenly you do a lot of damage. That was 4 citadels, and that was a but of course I was shooting at Pensacola. You gotta remember, as I said, this is a Pensacola light, so the Pensacola is of course the worst case scenario when it comes to citadel. Very exposed and very easy to hit. Nuremberg, fairly close, showing broadside. That's a paddling pretty much. Let's see if I can get the aim proper this time, or if I'm gonna be aiming miles behind him again. I've been doing it a lot on this ship because these shells have a lot of hang time. No. You got a good hit. So you can see what I'm talking about. The AP penetration, the tight grouping, all this. Very good. But, oh, damn it. Wasn't lazy enough of an arc that I could get over the hill. Let's see if, am I going to ground? I'm actually gonna, okay, I'm undetected. I'm gonna ground on purpose so I can basically change course faster. I'm undetected, I've been undetected a while, so I'm just gonna ground, and then I'm gonna reverse so I can change course quicker. And I'm citadel. That was quite a bit that was undetected, and I even sailed into the island, but, well, on this ship, if you take hits from a battleship, it's going to be a citadel quite often. I mean, I was obviously unlucky there, but I still decided to include this clip because I think it shows the example of, if a battleship shoots at you, you are very much in the same situation as you were on the Pensacola. If you get shot at from a battleship, you are not, or it's very unlikely that you will actually bounce the shells. On the other hand though, while the Pensacola suffers from extremely terrible concealment, the Indianapolis actually has pretty decent. With the camo, you got 13.4, and then with, I have my captain, I think I'm using my Des Moines captain on this guy at the moment. With the Des Moines captain, you get it down to 11.8. I think it was 11.8. I'll have to check. I'll fix it in case I remember wrongly. But anyway, the concealment for T7 is quite good. Like, you can pop out like this and you're undetected. I do wonder where the Mitsuki was though, since they're obviously torping me. Quite hungry for me. I cut out the beginning of this game, but there were quite a lot of people who said hello to me, so it's been a bit of an issue for me trying to basically make a commentary in this ship, because people say they're fans and then they spend the entire game focusing me. And in this ship, when you're focused, it's not fun. I can tell you that. This is not a ship that you can just shrug off shells and tank them with, because, yeah, like kill, this guy's trying to say kill Flamu. But as you can see, I was showing the back to that Colorado that was 15 kilometers away, and straight up, I got hit for a ton. I was showing straight back to him. I was basically angled as well I could to be sailing away from him, but I still took massive AP damage. So those armor values that you see in the stats, they are highly, highly misleading in my opinion. Completely untrustworthy. This ship is nowhere near as tanky as those armor values make it out to be. In fact, play it very much like a Pensacola with better stealth would be my opinion of how this ship plays. So, I mean, Pensacola with pretty good guns. I mean, the turret placement is much, much better, but the reload is actually quite long. It's, I think, 14-15 seconds, and it becomes quite awkward when you want to switch shells and such, having to wait the full 15 seconds. It's, I mean, you don't pump out that much DPM with this ship. When you use your volleys, you really have to make them count, and that's why I kind of prefer AP on this, because I feel with the slow reload, you're never really going to be a HE machine or a fire starting machine on this thing. In fact, most of the games I spent on the ship was using AP and using the Great Concealment to basically sneak up on cruisers, surprising them and then deleting them. That was honestly the majority of what I did on this, or what I had most success doing. And honestly, that's very much how you play the Pensacola. I mean, you try to surprise cruisers with massive AP volleys, or then you just sit really, really far back and shoot HE at battleships. But this ship is not a brawler. It's not, I mean, it's not good at all at close range, because especially that turret in the front and that huge bow area, it's pretty much got the citadel sitting right there exposed. I tried a couple of times rushing battleships. It's a waste of time if they have anywhere decent aim. Complete waste of time. They completely wrecked me, like straight through the bow, citadel, deleted. Rushing battleships in this is just very, very difficult. You can't handle damage in this ship at all. You cannot handle it. Turning away, this is Nuremberg, hoping I don't get citadeled. I don't want to get any closer with this AP, because any AP can pen you. I got a pretty good volley off. Not far enough. My radar is on cooldown. These Mutsukis have been gunning for me quite a bit, so kind of sucks that I don't have it ready. But now I'm being greedy. I really want to kill the Nuremberg. As I was talking about the Mutsukis, I think both of them have been like taking turns or at the same time trying to kill me, because yeah, they really want me dead in this game. Let's see if I can find the Nuremberg. Oh, there is. You see how much of a lead I have to take? So there's plenty of, if people are paying attention, I feel like they are more than capable of dodging these shells or dodging the volleys you shoot. But if they're not paying attention or they're distracted, then you get to punish them. So I'm a bit split on this, like on this ship so far. If you enjoy the Pensacola, I can see you enjoying this ship. But if you really hated the Pensacola, you're not gonna have a good time in this, because that same flimsiness is here. Okay, I'm constantly being spotted now. I spotted at such a weird angle that I'm gonna pop radar and see what I can find. Okay, I see a Mutsuki on my right and a Mutsuki in front of me. As I said, they're both hunting me because, well, they recognized my name, so they are, instead of hunting the Congo up north, that's full HP, they're running around trying to kill me. Can I turn away? No. Will I fit between the island here? No, I won't. I'm just dead. See if I can take him with me. Nope, no such luck. They hunted me now, and that was the end. And this was another lost game. I don't get any money or XP from this, but yeah, it was another lost game. But still, damage-wise, if we look at the damage, 50k damage with 18 AP shells. So that shows just how much damage potential each volley has with this ship, but it also, I feel, highlights just how vulnerable this ship is. But I feel like we shouldn't leave it just at one game. I'm gonna add another. And the second game, Domination on North. This is actually one of my favorite maps and modes because I feel like you can do a lot of things on a lot of different ships in this map, and there's plenty of options where to go and so forth. It's actually one of my favorite maps and modes at the same time, this Domination on this map. Now, once again, using my concealment to close the distance, trying to find some cruisers to surprise. This has been a common theme for me on how to play this ship, on how to be most successful with it. You can, of course, also spam HE at battleships from range, but I feel like you are taking a big RNG roll there. Like, hope that you manage to dodge all the shells and no RNG hits you, because if a big battleship hits you, then you're not gonna have a good time. This guy is in trouble. Like, where is he supposed to turn? I surprised him completely by basically getting this close and opening fire. I think I aimed too low. Let's see, yeah, just one citadel, I aimed too low. Angling myself further. Oh, he's turned away. Did I aim high enough? Nope, I am too low again. I'm too greedy to get that. I want to get that one shot, so I'm being too greedy of aiming pinpoint at the citadel. I should be aiming slightly higher, where you will basically get a bunch of AP hits and also get the citadel or two. But I'm basically going for the perfect multi-citadel volleys, and it's backfiring. See if I can finish this guy off. Oh, he should become visible again when he turns around that corner. There we go. Yeah, that should kill him. He's turning in towards the volley, which really exposes the citadel, so yeah, that's a kill. Took a lot longer than it should have, simply because I was greedy. But you can still see that, well, it wasn't that good of an example, honestly, because that guy showed too much broadside, in my opinion. You shouldn't rush a cap like that on an Aoba. It's too vulnerable of a cruiser to do it. I'm gonna go pick a fight with this Myoko over here. Myoko has better armor than the Aoba, and maybe if this guy angles a bit better, I'll be able to show like the real potency of the AP, because US cruiser AP in this game has some of the best Krupp values in the entire game. Krupp value is penetration. So you get really good penetration on almost all angles. This applies, of course, to other US cruisers as well. Especially the Des Moines is pretty infamous for this. When you fight other cruisers, like you can't really angle against the Des Moines unless you're a Zao, but even then you struggle because the AP from the Des Moines just eats through you. Like a Des Moines versus a Moskva is such a lopsided fight because the Des Moines can pen the bow of the Moskva with AP repeatedly, whereas the Moskva won't be able to do anything to the Des Moines. So US AP being strong is something that is a tradition that basically this ship continues. To the two battleships, I'm paying attention to them. They're north of me. So I'm gonna go straight up pick a fight with this Myoko, making sure I'm very angled. The firing angles on the ship are actually quite good. You can see that I'm able to fire with all three turrets while still keeping myself fairly angled. So the firing angles are good. The problem is, of course, that gap I spoke about, which causes a lot of random RNG citadels that aren't fun. Okay, he's very angled now. Let's see if I can show citadel from this angle, because the ship is capable of citadeling a Myoko from this angle. There we go, double citadel. You saw how angled he was, still double citadel. So these guns, the AP on these guns is very, very potent. It's just landing it, getting to use it, and so forth, which can be the issue. He's fleeing from me, probably torping. Oh, wait, that Fuso? That Fuso isn't... Is that Fuso reversing? Yeah, I gotta turn. I'm risking showing broadside to this Myoko. I'm gonna risk eating some citadels because I cannot push this way anymore, because if that Fuso is waiting for me, he can absolutely delete me. I got pretty lucky, I bounced some of his shells there, which is something, trust me, doesn't happen too often in this ship. Just gonna turn away. Pushing up, chasing him, I mean, I could have maybe secured a kill, but it wasn't worth it getting wrecked by that Fuso. Main turret incapacitated, that's another thing I feel the need to highlight. I actually permanently lost the gun from a Colorado, only one shell needed. He shot me from like 17 kilometers or something, it plunged, and it instantly permanently destroyed one of my guns. So the guns are quite flimsy. The armor casemate is 16 millimeters, and in comparison, an Omaha has 15 millimeter casemate on the armor. So the turrets are by no means especially durable. In fact, I think losing turrets is something that can happen quite a bit. It hasn't happened much to me, but I really, after having that loss, these days when I get the AP volleys like that damage my turrets, I instantly repair them so I don't lose them permanently. Let's see if I can pick a fight here. But anyway, I feel like I managed to show my point. I'll showcase my point with that Myoko, that even when angled so heavily, you're still able to punish them with the ship. Did not hit as I wished. Getting used to this ship is like, honestly I feel kind of like when I switch from the Zaun to the Des Moines. It's kind of the same when I switch from pretty much any other cruiser, like any German, any Russian cruiser, and switch to this one. It's always, you gotta get used to those lazy arcs again. Another issue that I almost forgot that I feel need to highlight is the HE and the AP shells on the ship have different speeds, and that can be very annoying and something that will take some time getting used to, because first you have to aim one way, and then you have to basically switch your aim around depending on the target or depending on the shell you're using, which is quite annoying because it does tend to lead you to overshooting or undershooting. Quite often I find myself missing when I switch to HE and shoot DDs because I've just gotten used to using the AP, and then I gotta completely switch gears because I'm switching to HE. I think the difference was something like almost, was it 760 meter per second to 830, so pretty close to a 10% speed difference in the shells, which kind of does, it's very noticeable when you play, because that 10% is enough, especially when shooting at DDs, can be quite frustrating. I also got a Citadel on him, broke his engine. It's a Pensacola. He's shooting HE, he should be shooting AP because my armor, he could easily pen me with his AP. But I punished him, as I said. AP, very strong on this ship. Like, hunting cruisers is something that this ship is very good at. Concealment lets it take on pretty much anything. I think the biggest problem for this ship, like cruiser of the same tier, if we're to argue, is this the best T7 cruiser? No, not, I mean, I still think Myoko is the best T7 cruiser. I feel like this guy doesn't offset it. They play differently, but the Myoko is in my opinion more versatile and significantly more tanky. And another thing is, Molotovs are actually a surprisingly big issue for you. Shit, I can't turn in because the Mitsuki is there. I have to turn away. Oh god, now I'm giving broadside. Yeah, I'm gonna die here. Nothing I can do. I'm being surrounded everywhere. The CV made me turn, and oh well. Got a Citadel. But got a Citadel, and well, it looks like my team is somehow absolutely getting overrun, even though I feel like I did a lot of work. But that kinda happens. And skipping to the end, once again, only 84k damage. I did top the scores, but still wasn't enough. So the question, is this the best T7 cruiser? No. But oh, what I was about to say, Molotovs are suddenly a huge threat because their railguns really cause a lot of issues to the poor Indianapolis. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this commentary. I'll talk to you later.